There's a running joke online that if you want to understand why America has such a grip on global culture, just send a European woman to visit for a few weeks and wait for her to come back absolutely transformed. We're not talking about theme parks or celebrity spotting.
This is your sign to go to college in America. It's currently 1 p.m. on the 6th of March, and it's 28 degrees Celsius. And this is what it looks like. Ice cream truck down there, people playing games, insane amounts.
We're talking about European women arriving with assumptions that they're visiting a country held together by hubris and bad urban planning, only to leave reconsidering major life decisions. If you're curious about what's actually driving this pattern, hit subscribe so you don't miss what we're unpacking here.
The biscuits and gravy?
Yes. Yeah.
This looks insane.
She's never had this.
I got this. You have to get a bit of egg with it.
No, just do the biscuits and gravy. That's like the classic.
Okay. Oh, it's got like a crunch to it.
Oh, it's good.
Actually, it's like a savoury. Savoury rather than sweet, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's good.
The first thing that absolutely floors European women isn't the Statue of Liberty. It's the casual hospitality of strangers. One Swedish woman documented her first week in Austin and kept coming back to a single moment. She got lost looking for a coffee shop, and within 2 minutes a local man had invited her to join him and his friends for lunch. He picked up the entire bill, no expectation of anything in return. That's not an isolated incident. A German traveler had her car break down, and a truck driver not only helped get it towed, but bought her dinner while they waited. A French woman in New York had a store clerk spend 45 minutes helping her find the right pair of shoes, not because of commission, but because that was just how service worked. In their own countries, this behavior would come across as suspicious or overly familiar.
I've never seen anything like this. The sauce comes in a literal massive cup. Look at the size of that.
Oh, it's so, the sugar in here is so good.
Everyone's been telling me that Sprite in McDonald's in the US hits different. I don't know why, but apparently it's better than if you bought it in a shop, like in a bottle.
As a Brit in America, In-N-Out is amazing to me.
So I'm trying a Whataburger here in Texas.
We're a British couple trying American McDonald's breakfast for the first time.
I'm so excited.
But in America, the assumption is that you're worth being kind to, and that's enough. This warmth reveals something deeper, a cultural confidence about your place in a community and an assumption of abundance that allows you to give freely. A British woman who spent 2 months in Texas wrote that she'd expected to feel alienated by the friendliness, but instead found herself lonely when she returned to London and felt that people didn't care whether she was having a good day. That difference is profound. That sense of abundance becomes impossible to ignore once you start noticing the physical landscape. European women arrive expecting squeezed cities. Instead, they walk into a Buc-ee's gas station in Texas and have to sit down. A German woman's first reaction, documented in a viral TikTok, was just standing in the middle with her mouth open. These aren't just big gas stations. They're clean, climate-controlled spaces with 50 pump stations, a bakery, grocery sections, restaurants, coffee bars, and restrooms that look pristine. For someone coming from a country where you stop at a cramped petrol station with 2 pumps and a stale sandwich, this is a glimpse into a completely different approach to infrastructure. American supermarkets dwarf their European counterparts. The cereal aisle alone is larger than entire corner shops. A French woman ordering a small coffee and receiving what looked like a bucket of milk with espresso became a running joke in her group chat with friends in Paris. When she ordered small fries, she received enough to feed 3 people. The abundance isn't accidental. It's a feature of a system built on the assumption that more is better, and that people deserve options and volume that feel almost wasteful by European standards. The highways compound this sense of scale. Driving across America teaches a specific lesson about what this country is.
Say it. Say it how it is.
Two things don't go together. It's like a breakfast muffin with gravy. It doesn't make sense. Like the gravy should be on a roast chicken or something, and it should be jam on the muffin.
Yeah, I gave Rory jam because I didn't want to freak him out.
A Scottish woman on a cross-country road trip remarked that the distance from California to New York is approximately the same as driving from Portugal to Moscow across Europe. Yet it's all one country, one currency, one interstate system. There's something about an 8-lane highway stretching to the horizon that changes how you think about possibility. This isn't a small country that's learned to make do. This is a country that built what it wanted because it had the scale and resources to do it. This sense of scale extends to nature in a way that genuinely humbles European assumptions. A Dutch woman visiting the Grand Canyon said she felt physically small in a way she'd never felt before. European nature is beautiful but curated. It's been shaped by human activity for thousands of years. American nature at scale can still feel genuinely wild. Yellowstone's geysers feel like standing on top of a sleeping planet. The Great Lakes are basically inland seas. There are time zones within one country. That sheer space, the vast unused land, changes something in how you think about limits and possibility.
Never seen anything like this. The sauce comes in a literal massive cup. Look at the size of that.
Oh my God!
Welcome to America, baby.
This is incredible though. Chicken is very tender, juicy, so tasty, and the sauce is their secret sauce. It is heavenly. Probably has like...
Then there's the question of safety and order, which undermines a major European narrative entirely. European news emphasizes gun violence and chaos, yet European women who visit find American cities to be remarkably clean, orderly, and safe. A Swedish woman in Miami documented her surprise at how clean downtown was. A French woman in Chicago noted that neighborhoods she'd been warned about were actually more orderly than neighborhoods in Paris. This isn't to say America doesn't have crime. It does. But the lived experience of a European tourist contradicts the media narrative they've been consuming. Part of this is about public spending on infrastructure and maintenance. When a German woman feels safer walking through downtown Los Angeles at night than in certain Berlin neighborhoods, her mental model of America breaks. Police encounters, which terrify European women, often turn out to be surprisingly professional. A Dutch woman asking a police officer for directions after a game wasn't just helped. The officer joked with her and asked where she was from. That's not what international media prepares you for.
This is biscuits and gravy, apparently, with potatoes on the side. I do not know what to think about that.
You guys say the looks of beans on toast that British people eat is bad. This looks even worse. I'm going to try it anyway, but I need a sip of water.
She's so nervous about it. I've never seen her so nervous about eating anything ever.
Okay, here we go.
This reliability extends to how things work, which is where the economic dimension really starts to matter for women evaluating their futures. American businesses operate with an efficiency and customer-first mentality that European women find intoxicating after years of European bureaucracy. A British woman applying for a job in New York got an offer by Friday after an interview on Monday. She stayed 5 years because things simply got done faster. A German software engineer offered a job in San Francisco, found the salary was roughly double what she made in Berlin for identical work. Home ownership, increasingly impossible for young women in much of Europe, was suddenly within reach. Healthcare adds another layer. A French woman waiting 4 months for a specialist in Paris got sick in New York. saw a doctor within an hour at an urgent care clinic, and paid roughly 40 euros. A German woman dealing with fertility issues found that American clinics offered fast-track treatment in ways her healthcare system simply couldn't provide. For women making long-term life decisions, these practical advantages weigh heavily. Beyond economics, there's something about individualism and freedom of movement that American culture offers that European women find genuinely liberating. A German woman noted that in Germany, there are specific rules about home additions, shutter colors, and home businesses. You need approval for almost everything. In America, the assumption is that you can do a thing unless there's a specific reason you can't.
Next up is tuition. I pay $3,500 a year for tuition.
Out of state for me, it's like $20,000 a semester. So $52 a year.
Next up is the drinking culture. So for me, I've noticed that the EU has a really wet culture. Alcohol has been a part of their culture growing up. When they get to college, they don't feel like they have to rebel or black out or anything. You just kind of go to bars, or we have wine nights. Sometimes we go to clubs if there are events.
A lot of the parties that I've been to in college are just...
A woman in Texas wanted to start a baking business from her home. In Denmark, this would involve months of paperwork. In Texas, she filled out a form, paid a fee, and started within weeks. That freedom is addictive when you've spent your life in a system where effort gets filtered through bureaucracy. The patriotism Americans express, flags everywhere, the national anthem, pledges, initially strikes European women as excessive. A French woman at her first American July 4th said the flag decoration would be unthinkable in France, where patriotism is understated. But living with that patriotism begins to make sense. America is genuinely confident in its size, resources, and future. That confidence is expressed in flags and anthems because the country has genuinely delivered prosperity for many people. European nations are more cynical, shaped by wars and collapses. But in American small towns, enthusiasm is earned by systems that actually work. A Swedish woman at a Colorado high school football game was struck by how the entire town showed up, how everyone seemed genuinely proud of each other, creating a sense of belonging she'd never quite experienced at home. The everyday culture of food and convenience amplifies this in ways both silly and profound. Drive-through culture, which European women initially mock, turns out to be genuinely convenient. You can order breakfast without leaving your car, get a full meal in 3 minutes. A German woman skeptical of convenience culture appreciated it once she was juggling 2 jobs. Abundance of cheap, ready-made options meant that even when overwhelmed, she could still eat well. A French woman noted that in Paris she could get excellent bread and cheese, but couldn't find a good avocado and needed to visit 3 shops for specific ingredients. In Los Angeles, she got anything she wanted at one supermarket for half the price. American convenience isn't wasteful when understood as a solution to real-time and money constraints. Restaurant portions, which seemed absurd, started making sense. If you're working 2 jobs, a meal providing 4 servings means you can stretch it into 2 days. Restaurants put leftovers on your table without asking, because the assumption is you might want to take extras home. It's respect for the customer's intelligence and autonomy. This shift in perspective, from skepticism to genuine appreciation, is where the emotional dimension of this pattern really comes into focus. European women don't arrive planning a change of heart. They arrive with genuine assumptions that they're visiting a chaotic, materialistic place held together by hubris. Instead, they experience genuine hospitality, systems that work, speed and efficiency, abundance, and a form of patriotism connected to actual lived success. By the end, many aren't just impressed, they're reconsidering major life decisions. A woman who arrived in New York assuming a brief visit ended up staying permanently, buying an apartment, and eventually admitting to friends back home that she'd been wrong about America. A German woman in San Francisco told her parents that she understood for the first time why immigrants come to America and give up so much for it. It's not just money. It's about possibility, about systems that support trying and failing and trying again. About a culture that believes the future can be better than the past if you work for it. This doesn't mean America is perfect or Europe is deficient. It means that the narrative European women are told often doesn't match the actual experience. Europe has gained social safety nets and public goods, but lost time, space, and the ability to take risks. America's abundance comes with real costs, including inequality. But for individual women making individual decisions, the calculation often tips toward America because it offers something hard to find in Europe. A genuine sense that individual effort and choices matter, that they're not absorbed into bureaucracy, and that you can see the difference between your work and your outcomes. That's intoxicating when you've lived in a system where effort gets filtered through collective arrangements. So here's the real question. Would you rather live in a society more equitable and secure, but where individual agency feels constrained, or one more efficient and responsive to individual choice, but less equal? European women increasingly are choosing the latter, or at least choosing to stay in America longer than planned because the practical benefits are so stark. This matters for understanding immigration patterns, where talented people build their lives, and how soft power actually works. It's not just military might or cultural products. It's whether your country makes it easy to build a life, whether systems actually work, whether individual choices matter. Right now, in those specific domains, America is winning relative to Europe in ways European media often fails to acknowledge. If you found this interesting, if you're thinking about travel,